شو بحس لما ألعب سكيت؟ شو تتخيل لك؟
تحس كأنك طاير، كأنك بالسماء. في فلسطين قد ما كان الإشي صعب، فيش إشي ممكن يوقف حدا عند هدفه، طموحه، الحلم اللي هو بده يوصل له.
هاي قصتنا.
What drew you to want to do something like this, and the project itself, why you felt like, did you feel like you were giving some hope in highlighting these young kids and what they were doing and how they were doing it?
I'm kind of drawn to more positive stories, I think, myself. And I mean, the whole nature of the program out there, you know, it is a positive thing. And but also, like, what we're very aware of is like the presentation of Palestine in the media. And so I thought it'd be cool to go out there and like just tell a story that is about real people and their regular lives, you know.
Yeah.
And tell that message, which is a different thing than what you normally hear, you know.
Yeah, for
yes,
sure.
they are living in this bad situation for sure, but like what are people doing to alleviate that pressure that they're under, you know?
Yeah, we didn't want to completely ignore the like difficulty of life over there, but our primary intention was definitely to highlight like the positive change that Omar and Yasmin were making in their community, and you know, focus on them as like real people instead of like, I think a lot of like people see the media, like Jonathan said, and they don't really understand that like what they're seeing on the screen are like actual people, and like, you know, that have lives and hopes and dreams and stuff. So we want to represent them as like the real people, that they are doing awesome stuff. And obviously the backdrop is the West Bank where they live and but we thought it was, and you know, they were spectacular people besides the fact that they happened to live there. So
how'd you guys get connected with them?
I have a friend, a longtime pro skateboarder friend, Kenny Reed, who is actually one of the co-founders of the skate camp out there.
Oh, cool.
And he actually invited me out to shoot stills a couple years in a row. But I wanted to get into the documentary space for a while now, and it seemed like a good opportunity to do so. So I said, well, I'll come out there, but, you know, because it was all on our own dime. So I was just like, I want to make a documentary, though. I'm not really interested in doing stills. And he was like, oh, okay, sure. So it was just, you know, it was the luck of my situation and the fact that he happened to be involved in this camp. So, but it is run primarily by a Palestinian guy.
Yeah, and I have to say, I don't think Omar and Yasmin really like with that going to be like focusing so intently on them for those like 2 weeks that we were there. We kind of had the opportunity to visit the program. I mean, it must have come up like a month before we before we actually went out there. So like there was a little bit more winging it than I'm usually comfortable with.
Well,
that's my fault. Sorry.
But that's kind of the nature of a documentarian. I mean, one of the things I love talking to documentarians about, and this is prevalent throughout, whether you're doing features, whether you're doing, you know, if you're creating a narrative or you're just interviewing somebody, even like news footage in a lot of respects, it sometimes this happens too. And it's the nature of documentarians going out there with a purpose and then discovering the film within the purpose during either while shooting it, while interviewing somebody where they reveal something, or you get into the editing room and you go, we got all this footage of this, how we tell this story. It changes. It sounds like when you got there, that's when when that purpose kind of changed for you. Is that fair to say?
I think we sort of made what we set out to make, but I think that we filmed a lot of material with a lot of amazing people out there that we didn't feel like contributed to like a focused story. So we like shot a boulder and like whittled it down to an arrowhead, like which is, as you do. But
Yeah.
I mean, part of it too was my lack, this is my first, I've done some like branded content things and stuff like that, but like this is my first real documentary that I directed, and so that was part of the issue too. And we had identified Omar and Yasmin just by talking to Kenny and about who might be interesting characters to focus on, but for some reason I just had it in my head that we needed a third character. And so we kind of spent a lot of time searching for this third character, and then at the end of the day it was like, no. So actually, it was back to the original plan, is where we landed, which now that I've done that, I will, be way more focused in the future.
You guys have plans to go back out there and maybe extend this into a feature or do a follow-up movie in that respect? Or is this was a one-off shot and you just going to move on?
We don't right now. I mean, like, I'd love to go visit the program again if it ever gets back up, to where it was pre-COVID. We don't have any plans to extend it into a feature right now, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, if someone came forward and was like, "Hey, like, we want to help you produce a feature around this," like,
sure,
well, definitely.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, I don't know. Just a lot's changed. We filmed that in July 19. You know what I mean? And
the world's changed.
The world has changed, and had a kid during the time.
The children even speak about this in the film, and I'm kind of curious from your perspective how you approach this. That some of the family members and some of the parents were not allowing their children to be part of the skate park and the skate aspect, and was it that you were just staying within the confinements of the school or the recreation program, or did you have to go to the families and seek their permission to their children on screen? And I'm kind of curious what their thoughts were on that, if you did.
One, like in Yasmin's case particularly, like her mom was such a big help in actually like getting this made.
Oh, cool.
Set up a lot.
Her mom too is part of the program. Like her mother is one of the directors over there.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
She's one of the main Palestinian administrators, if you will. If that's not too big of a word for what it is, but she's very involved and she's very like kind of proactive, and that was very helpful for Yasmin with some of the other girls, especially all the men or boys that was easy. It's really the women that it's an issue, but fortunately Yasmin, it wasn't.
Did you guys pick up any unique skate tricks or anything that you saw that you didn't know when you guys got out there, and that maybe they taught you, or something that you were like, "Whoa, that's pretty cool"?
This reminded me how rusty I am.
Me too. I was feeling that too, especially when he ollies the boards. I was like, I haven't done that in 30 years.
Yeah, parkour is really big out there, and our sound man was a big parkour enthusiast. So that was definitely the most enlightening for me, I think, more so than the skating
stuff. What do you love about indie film?
There's something about kind of the DIY aspect of it that I really appreciate, and just going out and it's really molding something out of nothing, and in a very kind of almost metaphysical way, because I come from my father's a great woodworker, and so that kind of mentality is kind of ingrained in me.
Nice.
But I really like just kind of making something out of the air that didn't exist before.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I love the introductions to people that documentary brings with it, and kind of just finding yourself in places or situations that are new and exciting. So I mean, I do a lot of other stuff besides documentary, but I'll always, for the right project, pick up the camera for documentary because it's so much fun.